The day after the funeral, everything changed. Grief has a strange way of revealing who people truly are. While I sat in silence, staring at the last photo we took together as a family, my brother was already pacing the living room, talking about paperwork. Not about memories. Not about the will. About the house. It's still technically in my name, he said, like it was just another casual fact of life. Mom and Dad signed it over years ago, remember? I remember. I remember the way our parents said, he needs it more right now. You'll get your turn someday. That was 10 years ago. My someday never came. You're not thinking of selling it already, are you? I asked quietly. Why not? He shrugged. It's too big for me alone, and I could use the cash. Besides, you've got your own life to live, right? That sentence, you've got your own life, burned through me like acid. I was renting a small basement apartment, still struggling to pay off student loans, while he lived rent-free in the house our parents built brick by brick. When the lawyer read the will, I expected something. Anything. A note, a gesture, some acknowledgement that they wanted things to be fair, but the words cut deeper than silence. To our eldest son, Mark, we leave the house and all associated property. To our youngest, Ethan, we leave our savings and personal effects. The savings. $5,000. That was it. The rest of their lives, their work, their love, their memories, tied up in bricks and drywall, and handed to him. I sat there frozen. My brother didn't even pretend to be surprised. He just nodded and signed the papers like it was all part of the plan. It's what they wanted, he said, looking at me with that infuriating mix of pity and smugness. You know that, right? But no. I didn't know that. Because if that's what they wanted, then they never really knew me at all. That night, I packed my things from the house. I didn't take much, just a few photos, Dad's old wristwatch, and the keys I'd soon have to give back. When I closed the door behind me, it felt like sealing a chapter one was never meant to be part of. Outside, rain started to fall, soft at first, then heavy. And as I stood there, drenched and staring at the lights glowing through the windows, his windows now, I whispered the words I never thought I'd say, someday, you'll wish you treated me differently. And I meant it. Because grief fades. But resentment grows roots. I wanted to say no. Every part of me screamed that the past should stay buried. But something, maybe pity, maybe closure, made me nod. A week later, I went back to the town I swore I'd never see again. It felt smaller now. Faded. The diner where we used to eat was boarded up. The school had new paint but the same cracked steps. When I walked into Mom's house, she froze. Her hands, frail and trembling, covered her mouth. Tears welled up instantly. Alex, she whispered, you came. I didn't know what to say. So I just hugged her. For the first time in decades, I hugged her, not as a son looking for approval, but as a man saying goodbye. We sat together for hours, talking about nothing and everything. She asked about my work, my life, whether I was happy. I didn't tell her about Daniel's visit, or how broken he'd become. I didn't need to. She already knew. Before I left, she said, you boys, you were both good, just different. I wish I'd seen that sooner. That's when I realized something that hit deeper than any revenge ever could. All that time I'd spent chasing justice, I'd really just been chasing love, the kind I thought I could earn if I proved I was better. But love isn't earned. It's either given, or it's not love at all. When I walked out of that house, Daniel was waiting by the car. He looked at me like a man waiting for a verdict. Did she say anything? He asked. Yeah, I said. She still loves us both. He nodded slowly. Then, after a long pause, I'm sorry, Alex. For everything. I believed him. Maybe because time had finally done what revenge couldn't, it made him small enough to be human again that we talked for a while after that. Nothing deep, just, brothers. He told me he was trying to get clean, to find work again. I didn't offer help. He didn't ask for any. It was enough that we were speaking. When he left, he said, maybe we'll see each other again. I just said, maybe. And that was it. No dramatic music. No closure wrapped in a bow. Just silence. The kind that doesn't hurt anymore. It's been 2 years since that day. Mom passed last spring. Peacefully, they said. Daniel sent flowers. I didn't go to the funeral. Sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if I just walked away sooner, without trying to even the score. But then I remember, if I hadn't gone through the fire, I wouldn't have learned how to build my own warmth. Now, every night before I sleep, I write down one thing I'm grateful for. Yesterday, it was silence. Today, it's peace. Tomorrow, maybe it'll be forgiveness. And that's enough. Because for the first time in my life, I don't want revenge. I just want to be free. My parents gave my brother everything. So I took it all back. Part 2. It's been 8 years since I last saw Daniel. 8 years since I walked away from that house, that family, and everything that used to define me. A lot can change in 8 years. The quiet apartment I once rented turned into a home. The freelance gigs became a small company. And somehow, without really trying, I built something that was truly mine, something no one could take away this time. I didn't plan for success. I just wanted peace. But peace, it turns out, grows where revenge burns itself out. The lake house, of course, is long gone. The state sold it, tore it down, and built some sterile luxury cottages in its place. I never went there again. I didn't need to. That ghost had already been buried. For years, life was simple. Work. Silence. Occasional laughter with a few friends who didn't know my past. I kept my circle small, my heart smaller. And then, one gray morning in November, Daniel came back. I was in the office, finishing invoices, when I heard the knock. Soft, hesitant. The kind of knock that knows it doesn't belong. When I opened the door, I almost didn't recognize him. His once clean haircut had grown wild. His eyes, the same sharp blue as mine, looked tired, hollow. There was a slight tremor in his hands, the kind you get when life's been shaking you for too long. "Hey, Alex," he said quietly. "You look good." I didn't say anything. Just stepped aside. He walked in like a man entering a church he'd burned down years ago. He sat. Looked around. No words. Just breathing. Finally, he said, "I lost everything." I wanted to say I know. But I didn't. I just let him talk. That he told me about the fallout. After the foreclosure, he tried to start over. New town, new job, new promises. But people talk. Reputations follow. The debts caught up to him, then the divorce. His wife took what little was left and left him with less than nothing. He'd been living out of a cheap motel for months. Working odd jobs, chasing stability, never finding it. I kept thinking, he said, "You must be happy now. You won. You got what you wanted." I looked at him. The man who'd once had everything, the house, the parents' pride, the easy life, now sat in front of me, shaking like a leaf. There was no pride left in him. Only regret. "It was never about winning," I said quietly. He laughed bitterly. Could have fooled me. We sat in silence for a while. The air between us thick, but not angry anymore. Just heavy. He looked up at me, and for the first time in our lives, I saw fear in his eyes, not of losing, but of being forgotten. "Mom's not doing well," he said. "Dad's gone. Heart attack, 3 years ago, that hit harder than I expected." I hadn't talked to them since the court case. I didn't even know if they'd ever forgiven me, or if I'd forgiven them. "She keeps asking about you," Daniel continued. She wants to see you, before. He didn't finish the sentence.